All right, good morning, Separate Traders. Welcome on back to close out our week here this Friday morning. Not only the week, but the month, actually. This Friday, September 30th. Great to see all of our students and members alike inside our live trading room. Great to see Roger, Michael, Glenn, Ray, Lewis, Grant, Robert, Chris, Dan. Where are the ladies at right now? Where's Kath and Leda and all the ladies at the trading room, Carol included? Great to see Roger here. He's saying, I see you made it home safe. I did. It was actually a really easy ride. Thank God. Thank God. It was about a 4 to 5 hour drive from Boynton Beach, Florida, back to the west coast of Florida. That is Largo right now. So, it was a really easy ride back, but man, just like on the ride, you take a look and you see some of the surrounding areas, trees knocked over on houses, and unfortunately, like mobile homes destroyed, just going through the state, just a devastating amount of damage just done to certain parts of Florida. So, we have everyone in our thoughts and prayers, of course, for anyone that ended up getting affected by it or anyone's families for that matter. But great to see Henry, Grant, Carol right now joining us as well. Perfect. So, folks, let's hop to it at least here. FXLV, nice little move up here to begin the pre-market. Ended up having a big pop at first, shortly after 8 o'clock. Then from there, led to a nice bounce. So I'll tell you what, I said in the trading room earlier, myself at least, the market close today should be really interesting. Market close. Why? Well, it's the end of the week, but it's also the end of the pay period, the end of the month. So you could see some increased volatility, some increased volume, that is, taking us into the closing bell. That doesn't necessarily mean that the market open would be as good to us. And this morning in pre-market, there were a couple out there that we had our eyes on, AIMD, IONQ, but pre-market didn't look too active prior to 8 o'clock. So I wasn't as optimistic. Whenever I see like a more inactive pre-market, I always get the gears going thinking, oh, this can be a long day. Well, thankfully, FXLV ended up providing a nice opportunity here. After the pop, ended up pulling back down very steadily. So, hey, for as much as it's pulling back, one's going to wonder, when is it going to bounce? So from there, it ended up holding big support off of past resistance here, basically off 280, 275 right there, pretty much. So from that point, it led to a really nice entry as it moved up towards 3, over 3 here. So it was a nice trade to at least begin the morning for us inside the live trading room. FXLV is like a F45, one of those like high intensity interval training type of group classes. They're pretty expensive, but they're becoming very popular all over the country now. I ended up seeing some article over the last 48 hours in terms of a lot of different companies looking to invest a lot more of their capital towards specific health and fitness departments. So FXLV is just a huge fitness-based company to begin with. Well, the news that came out on F45, it just shows 13D filing from Kennedy Lewis Management LP, shows a 14.6% stake. And with that, the shares spike higher. So for right now, hey, I'll put this on our watch list. It's up over 36, 37% right now. Nice trade from pre-market, good liquidity on the order book. So for right now, we'll put this on our watch list here. Now, a little housekeeping note, actually, before I continue, for Carol and Grant, Henry, all of us inside the live trading room, at least any of our gold, platinum, and diamond C2 students, that is. So back from Wednesday this past week, I think it was, or even yesterday, I think it was, I was looking to tag in for Fausto and do the phase 3 course for him. He was running late from a doctor's appointment at the time. And with that, I had a big technical issue. My freaking laptop ended up overheating about 15 minutes into the class. I was up on a couple of trades. Things were going swimmingly. Well, with that, I had mentioned at the time that we would be likely rescheduling phase 3 for this morning. I want to make this official, folks. We're actually going to be doing the phase 3 course, phase 3 lesson 4, the final lesson for the phase 3 stock course. That is on Tuesday of this upcoming week. So that will be on Tuesday, October 4th, and that will be for the market open, the morning at 9:30 Eastern time. So, of course, we'll send reminders out once more through email. It will be on the class calendar on our website, on the student dashboard, that is. All right, folks, so for Grant, Robert, Chris, all of us here, phase 3, not today. It's going to be on Tuesday morning. Tuesdays are typically better trading days, but also I'm not fully set up on my computer yet back here in Largo. I'm on my like laptop and side screen setup, so I'm not super fully equipped like I normally am. So I want to give you guys the best that I have, as Fausto will be out next week with his big surgery. So, of course, we wish him the best going forward with that, and I think he has his surgery set for Monday. So wish him well, certainly. If you folks would like to send him a quick email, wish him well, please do so. But with that, though, let's go from top to bottom here. Hey, reschedule phase 3. Perhaps it might not be the best morning, perhaps a very good close, but hey, let's go from top to bottom, see what else we could put on our watch list here. FXLV is a good start. This is not a good start. This AIMD, we were hopeful to see this pop in pre-market. This is one of the 3 that we had on the main pre-market watch list. Just hasn't gone anywhere, though. This thing is just a chop fest as well, right? Up and down in this rugged range. Reminds me of the BBAI from yesterday. As you could see, I forgot to delete my lines from yesterday's trading. So with that, give me a quick moment. There we go. So BBAI from yesterday was just, this thing was up big in pre-market, but it offered us like next to nothing, maybe like 20 cents off the squeeze from the lows. The SNTI trade, you could have said the same thing on. This thing was interesting and looking good in pre-market, and it popped after the open. So this at least actually gave us a pretty good opportunity to make money. But after 10:30, 11 o'clock, look what happened. So, it became just as choppy as it was from pre-market there. History has a tendency to repeat itself. We hope to see this make a big pop and become a lot faster moving of a trade, but I'm not necessarily expecting that. So, AIMD, I'll put on our list, probably be near the middle, near the bottom, probably by the end of it all. It's up big in pre-market off of some sort of news, but just really flat here right now. All right, Chris had called out LITM earlier. I think it was Chris. I think it was Chris at the time. And, hey, it was pushing up a little bit, but he even wrote it like kind of low volume at the time. Well, hey, this thing's traded a lot more volume over the last 20 minutes since Chris's call out and led to a big pop over 2. I'm going to assume Chris is in this trade right now from 2. So with that, is anyone else in on this LITM right now? Looking really strong here at this moment. Now, at this point, we're definitely going to put this on our watch list for the open. Looks like there's a bit of a daily chart level to watch, a very loosely placed line here, folks, roughly off of 212. So it's just breaking above that right now. Be on the lookout for a pullback here. If it keeps going, perfect. But just, if it shakes down to 212, you'd ultimately want to see that hold as support. All right, nice. So at least, 3 stocks on our watch list so far. That's a decent start, at least. I did say that yesterday. All right, SAI, another stock from pre-market watch list, but at least it was up a lot more prior to 8 o'clock. This thing ended up just dumping right away after. Led to a little tiny bounce here, but it doesn't look too great, does it? I mean, it's up over 11%. There could have been some news out on it, folks, but hey, look at what happened to EDSA. This was making a big pop right after 8 o'clock, and you'd figure that there'd be a lot more room for a run. Well, it ended up breaking above a resistance I called out off of 174, and it pushed up here at the time. Things were looking great there, but it came back down under the level. And if it's going to break under that level of support and it drops from it, that level should then become resistance. So with that, it's only been a mess since this EDSA. Same to be said here as I just said on the SAI, right? So just because they're active and up big in pre-market doesn't mean that they're great trades for the market open. This one, Sober, SOBR, at least we're more familiar with. This one has gained our trust a little bit more day over day. Granted, it's not like a clean push, but it trades a lot of volume, which is good. We embrace the volume because that promotes volatility, especially for a smaller cap stock like SOBR. So it ended up making a big pop back from Wednesday this past week. Yesterday, it ended up making a nice little move up, a little bounce when it wasn't expected. And today, this morning, it's up over 6.5%. It's holding underneath the VWAP as resistance off of 216. But, for the open, at least I'm more interested in this, at least the Sober. We're familiar with it. All right, cool. And I'll tell you what, folks, for a Friday morning at least, again, maybe the close will be pretty exciting given end of the week, but end of the month at the same time. We're already we're already kind of teetering around the 5% category here on the gainer side. So, if there's anything else looking really good, type it in the chat board now. Let me know. SJ here, same deal as the others, pop and drop. It's like the theme of today, it seems like. That's why I'm really thankful to have caught in the FXLV when we did. I mean, a really good support play from that point. But let's hop over to the loser side right now, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. Got the ICPT. I have no idea what happened to this thing. This thing looks just flat, though, after the big drop off. It is shortable. If it has better liquidity after the open, I'll be interested. But holy smokes, Nike, what happened here? Whoa, you normally don't see a more expensive stock a la Nike, a la, a lot of expensive name brand stocks, but you don't really see them down as much as this is currently in pre-market. The assumption is earnings. Let me take a look. All right, let's see. Got a bunch of headlines here, so my apologies. I got to sift through this here briefly. It looks like it says Nike shares trading lower after the company reported an increase in quarter-ended inventories for quarter one. Revenue in the Greater China region also fell year over year. A bunch of different firms and analysts giving different ratings and price targets on it. Got a couple folks saying like, oh, most are lowering their price targets down to like $100 or down to even as high as 120. A little late to the party there, no? I mean, geez, this thing has only been dropping off for how long now? I mean, it's name brand, so with the market the last 6 months, 8 months, but geez, I mean, now you lower the price target down to 120. What stock was that earlier this week that we had that on, folks? There was a stock that, man, I think it was a name brand one, but some firm ended up lowering their price target to like finally just a little bit where it's trading at. It was like 6 months too late. So here, Nike dropping off quite a bit. Needless to be said, we'll put this on our watch list. Although it's more expensive, it should trade some good liquidity on the order book after the market opens. All right, what else we got here? We got Under Armour. I don't know if moving in sympathy with Nike, it looks like it. Normally, Under Armour would be trading more volume if it was coming off of news of its own, like earnings. So UAA moving likely in sympathy with the Nike trade. Good side list stock for right now. Actually, in fact, I will slip like UA on our watch list here just because Nike is pretty expensive. So if you're not as interested in trading like an $86, $82 stock, then with that, you could look to follow Under Armour potentially. All right, another day this week, another day where XPEV is down big. This thing's taken a huge hit. I mean, obviously across the last several months, but the last few days, this thing has been a very steady downtrend, really good short. Neo, my lovely Neo, ended up getting crushed yesterday. It was a phenomenal short. Left a lot of money on the table with this. I wasn't expecting as smooth of a trend as we had there. But, hey, Neo's down a little bit this morning. XPEV's down a lot more percentage-wise. I'll put this on our list here, the XPEV. Thankfully, FXLV treated me nicely in pre-market. And with that, and with working on my laptop right now, I'll be very straightforward with everyone here. I was pretty lazy this morning. I didn't really chart any stocks, including Neo. So I don't have any lines on Neo. I didn't prep up for Neo this morning. But with that, XPEV is looking pretty strong as a short. All you need is one trade, folks. Once you lock in some good cushion money, and if you know that you're here most of the day, then you're going to find another opportunity. You don't need to be as rushed to try and prep up all these different levels and stocks. Once you have that cushion amount underneath you, you could take it a little bit more in stride, a little bit slower. Michael say also Foot Locker moving in sympathy too, just not trading nearly enough volume though, right? I mean, it's only 24,000 shares. The Skechers trade potentially too. No, this one's not trading anything, Michael. Come on, we know that. Under Armour looking really good, though, in terms of the volume. I don't think that we need to find any other sympathy-based Nike stocks like that. Under Armour's good enough, I feel. Now, a couple of us had called out Cold earlier. Hey, at the time it was initially called out, Cold, listen, we've seen it trade better activity in pre-market than it was and doing even now. But about 20 minutes ago, it was down maybe 1%. Now it's up over 2, near 3%, continuing its move up. We are really familiar with Cold as an ETF. Remember, this is an ETF, not a publicly traded company, so it's going to be a lot harder to apply level 3 and look for icebergs on this. If you have level 4, then give it a shot. But with that, though, Cold now at this point trending up a little bit more. We are familiar with it, so I'll put this on our list now. Looks good. All right. So, folks, let me know if there's anything else up, down, left, right that you would want me to check out here before we close out for this meeting. again, Fausto will be out likely all next week, just as he is undergoing his surgery on Monday, and then obviously a big, lengthy recovery, but obviously he'll need the week off just to recover. So, wish him well and wish him the best just upcoming. AIMD, it's on our list, but I told you this thing is not looking nearly as good as some of the others. So, IO and Q, I didn't really go over this, did I? Maybe I did. I don't think I went over the IO and Q as much. This was the third stock that we had on our pre-market list. So it's actually up still a decent chunk, up over 8%. But, you could see from 8 o'clock, it really didn't do anything. So I'll put this on our list. It still is interesting for me. I'll kind of put this like in the same area as the AIMD. Hopefully this makes a better pop, though, after the open. Grant, love to hear that. All right, let me just check social media right now, Facebook Live or YouTube. I'm running off a different system here, so pardon me there. All right, so folks, I don't think I have anything on YouTube at least. We may have touched upon them all, and that's fine by me. We don't need to force any stocks to be on our watch list. In total so far, we have a pretty decent-sized list. 2, 4, 6, 8 different equities, 8 different stocks, that is, and then the cold ETF. So, pretty decent list so far, folks. I like it. For all of us on Facebook Live, YouTube, I appreciate you folks sticking with me each and every day and throughout this morning and likely going into next week all throughout. So if you have any questions, feel more than free to send it over through email. I always like to post my email here personally at the end of these streams. That being josh@c2trading.com. If you're interested in joining our live trading room, that is, just feel free to go down to the link on the blue banner below on the stream, that is, to get yourself signed up. But for all of us there right now, like Brian, great to see Brian back actually in the room. He had 5 days off, writing back to us now. Nice to be back in the room. Brian, nice to have you back. So great to see Brian. But for Brian, Grant, Leda, Chuck, and Michael, and all of us live inside the Cyber Group room, I look forward to talking to you folks coming up just about 13 minutes until the market opens. I'll talk to you then.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.